Hello, this is Sharon Mistretta, and the purpose of this QuickTime video is just to go over the rubric for lesson plans. This rubric was developed in conjunction with Dr. Catherine Quinlan and I during the International Space Station and Astrobiology course with the Endeavor program. What we did was we had placed the common categories that Endeavor classes usually look for in a lesson plan from our teachers, from our students. The first row essentially just names the grade level, topic of focus, and time needed. The columns 4, 3, 2, and 1 give us the opportunity to grade the students with the varying degrees of completeness. So here you have a recurring theme of all three components, 2, 1 were not included. And this gives us the opportunity, instead of offering a rubric that might be just having two categories of grading columns, it'll give the opportunity for us to grade and give credit where there are some components that are included, perhaps take off for some that are not included, or to give the teacher the opportunity to get full credit for all of the components. So here in the rows we have the typical grade level, topic of focus, and time needed. Here we have standards, measurable objectives, use of NASA data, detailed procedures in the 5E model. This is the model of the lesson plan which has been utilized in the Endeavor courses, and I also offer a template for the 5E model. I'll go over that in just a few minutes. Also, the adaptability of the lesson plan that would be able to be utilized by other teachers. That's important from the Endeavor standpoint, that whatever they're submitting, it's not essentially their list of lecture notes. It is a plan that could be shared with fellow students and implemented or adapted to their needs, but it's a complete enough plan that they would be able to do so. The plan would also include assessments, citations, and APA, and I provide an example in the 5E lesson plan template that I'm about to show you. And also there is a score for effort as well. Now, here in these columns, we have 9 rows. Therefore, there's a possibility with this particular lesson plan rubric to have 36 points out of 36 points awarded to the teacher. And also what I usually do is I make notes in this area that will explain what I had used for grading and why the student had gotten that particular grade. Typically what I will do is I will just place the grade in this section. For instance, I might put a 4 here and highlight it, and then I provide that for each of the students. So in other words, I copy this over for each student, insert what their grade was, and then go on to the next student. So this is the rubric itself, and I will include this with the email that I'm sending you, a copy of this. And here is the 5E lesson plan, and that is a template. It is a template because it's a DOTX. So if they wanted to use this, or if you were requiring it in your class, when they open this, they have to save it. So it truly is a template because they have to save it into a DOCX, so the template cannot be modified. Here I tried to incorporate all of the usual requirements that the professors usually have for an actual lesson plan. This is the 5E model. So what I've done is in the header, I've provided information where they can edit this with their name, the grade level that they're teaching, the topic of focus, title of lesson plan, and the time needed. Then in here I provide this is actually a template that I use for my lessons, for my lesson planning, because I remind myself with these little paragraphs of what I'm supposed to be doing in each stage. So this gives us the opportunity for a lot of thought being put into the lesson plan. In this area, they can write out their objectives and standards, whether those are local standards, state standards, whatever standards they are using, um, or next generation of science standards, whatever they want to place in there, they can edit in here. And it is a reminder, because it is that header does appear on each page of this table. So they can edit that in and place their information, and as they key this in, this will simply expand as needed. So this is something that they'd be able to utilize for whatever they needed to say. But then in the last row, I put the opportunity for them to put background information and references, because what's important if we're going to share these lesson plans is that sometimes there are some essential resources that they've utilized in their lesson planning. This is a sample. I provided a sample of an APA citation. This is actually from one of my own papers, and it is an APA citation with an HTML link, and also I provided the link to the Purdue OWL APA style guide. And then here we have Webb's depth of knowledge chart, because these are the verbs that the teachers should be using to formulate their lesson plan. So you want to be able to, going back to the rubric, we do say in here that they should be using Webb's depth of knowledge. This is what was covered in my methods course, and also what was required by Dr. Catherine Quinlan during the International Space Station and Astrobiology course. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to provide you with this QuickTime video so that I can explain these things to you rather than try to get everybody on the phone, which is very difficult. You can view this screen recording at your leisure and then take a look at the attachments. I'm going to attach this .doc and I'm going to attach this DOTX, and then if you wanted to, we could provide those on the website if you had wanted to, if especially the 5e template. If we've already posted rubrics on the course for the lesson, then those can stand, certainly, and then we can move forward perhaps in a future date so that we can use a more detailed rubric that would lend itself to giving the teacher faculty, the teacher students, the opportunity to get as many points as possible for the amount of detail that they place in their lesson plans. Okay, thank you.